Hi, my name is Rebecca Yvonne Bayeck, and I am a CLIR postdoctoral fellow at the Chamber Center for Research in Black Culture. Today, my presentation is about addressing issues of accessibility, urgency in the world of social distancing. I will share my experience with designing an online exhibition to demonstrate the urgency. Accessibility is a trending topic today, and it is not uncommon today to hear scholars, researchers, and practitioners from different fields talk about accessibility and or inclusivity. Indeed, accessibility and inclusivity are often used interchangeably. In this presentation, I discuss both concepts, show their connectivity, and highlight the urgent need for everyone designing content or product for public use to not make accessibility or inclusivity an afterthought in the design process. Well, I will start with few definitions. What is accessibility? What is accessibility? Accessibility is a process of designing products, contents, places, or technologies that are usable by people with all abilities. Accessible design is consequently about creating contents, for example, that are accessible to all irrespective of their physical, emotional, cognitive, visual, or hearing abilities. What do I mean by people with all abilities? By people with all abilities, I mean people with hearing impairments, visual impairments, mobility impairments, and cognitive impairments. So now, what's the difference between accessibility and inclusivity? As I stated in the beginning of this presentation, accessibility and inclusivity are often used interchangeably. However, accessibility comes from the World Wide Web Consortium, known as W3C, which published on May 5, 1995, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, known as WCAG. The core of these guidelines was to ensure that contents and sites on the newly emerging internet could be accessed by as many people as possible. Since 1995, though, the guidelines have evolved, and the most recent guidelines were published in 2018, the WCAG 2.1. So we had the WCAG 1.0, which was 1995, and then we have the WCAG 2.0, and now we have the WCAG 2.1. Accessibility can be summarized by this question. Is your content easy to use, approach, speak to by people with all abilities? Inclusivity based on accessibility's core goal and adds the concept of comfortability or safety. It is about designing content, places, or products for everyone to feel comfortable, safe when using. Inclusivity therefore answers the question, is the content environment you are designing safe for everyone to use? Or can people with a wide range of abilities feel comfortable using this environment or content? Accessibility foregrounds inclusivity and all center on the human experience of a content, place, site, or product. With the global pandemic, we have been living in what is called now the new normal. The image of a circle with 2 feet and this written statement, stay 6 feet apart in English and Spanish, reminds us that today in any public environment, people have to stay 6 feet away from each other. This implies that in classrooms, libraries, and museums, content created for public consumption should take into consideration the social distancing rule of 6 feet apart. What does it mean then for accessibility and inclusivity? I will address this question by focusing on the process of designing an exhibition at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. The next section will show that accessibility and inclusivity are to be considered in the design process simultaneously, showing and show that accessibility is the foundation on which inclusivity is built. Addressing accessibility and inclusivity. This slide shows the image of 3 interactive screens in the media gallery of the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. With touch screens, enhance the visitor's interaction with the exhibition and enable video and audio recording. Before the pandemic, I completed the design of a digital exhibition on the strategic use of card visit by Black people in the 19th century, using the affordances, the environment to create an inclusive and accessible exhibition. The exhibition was to be open to the public. However, in the lockdown, it became urgent to think about other ways of making the digital exhibition accessible to all. When designing the digital exhibition, for the Media Gallery at the Schomburg, I address the issues of accessibility and inclusivity differently. Indeed, the setting of the Media Gallery at the Schomburg shaped my thinking, thus accessibility and inclusive design. For instance, the physical location required that I consider access to the building, which meant creating tactile maps of the first floor of the building of the Media Gallery, braille for levels, a recorded narrative or storyline of the exhibition, long audio description of all content used in the exhibition. My design process was driven by the following question: how do I provide the same digital experience to people with different abilities? Now, I want to talk about the effect of the lockdown on the design of my exhibition by discussing accessibility and inclusivity of an exhibition in an online environment. With the lockdown, the environment for the exhibition had to change, and this implied that the new environment would shape my accessible and inclusive design approach. Issues of accessibility and inclusivity for an online exhibition are different from a digital exhibition displayed in a physical location. For instance, tactile maps are no longer needed. Moving online meant also rethinking the design and display of the exhibition using the platform provided by the institution. The image on the slide shows the introductory page with a picture of a Black man on the left. The theme of the exhibition, the strategy use of card visited by Black people, an introduction to the purpose of the exhibition. Designing for accessibility and inclusion means that I provide direction and guidance to the audience to ensure all users had similar experiences. However, I face other challenges such as lack of space for long descriptions of the images on the card visits, and lack of flexibility to allow the display of images to allow the display of images. For example, as seen on this image, showing a series of Black people, the online platform only allowed the designer to provide alternative text for images, making it impossible for users with visual impairment to have a similar experience with other users. Inclusivity was consequently challenged in this process. Inclusive design is built on the principle of universal design, which includes equitable use, flexibility in use, perceptible information, among others. In this case, equitable use refers inferred actually, same experiences for users with a wide range of abilities. The pandemic and the social distancing role has forced or prompted a rapid move to virtual environments. The move of the digital exhibition from a physical space to an online environment was consequently a must. The new normal forces designers and institutions to urgently address issues of accessibility and inclusivity for online exhibition. For example, my institution is currently redesigning its platform to address some of the challenges discussed in this short presentation. In the age of social distancing, addressing issues of accessibility and inclusivity is urgent, for there is no accessibility without inclusivity as shown in this presentation. I would like to therefore say thank you for attending my session, and I look forward to your questions. You can follow my work and contact me on Twitter and Instagram at RYBAYECK. That's R as in radio, YB, AYECK, RY Bayeck. Thank you so much, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you. Oh, Lord. Whatever it is, I just want to stop it here. I don't know.